Here is all the vegan food I ate on the beautiful island of Oahu, Hawaii. Now, I spent over a month on this wonderful magical island, including eating at over 20 restaurants. So with so many different foods and delicious things to cover, we're gonna break it all down neighborhood by neighborhood, starting in Waikiki. So the first place in Waikiki to try a Hawaiian specialty I recommend you go to is going to be ALO Cafe, also known as Alo Cafe. This is a plant-based cafe that's only a couple blocks from Waikiki Beach, and they serve delicious acai bowls, delicious banana bread, some of my favorite banana bread I've ever had, and some nice iced coffees and drinks as well. The seating inside is a little bit small, so I definitely recommend taking your things to go and eating it at Waikiki Beach in the morning, with taking in sights of the waves, the morning sun, and just totally feeling that wonderful Hawaiian relaxed feel that you probably went to Hawaii to feel in the first place. Now, for a less healthy and definitely a little bit more naughty option, I recommend, you cannot miss this place. You have to go to HOLEY GRAIL Donuts. Now, as the name implies, they serve donuts, and it's a little bit of a food truck that serves a few different rotating flavors of donuts, but there's a catch because they are made of taro. I don't know what it is about it. It makes some delicious donuts. These donuts are a little bit crispy on the outside, not too much, and incredibly soft on the inside. All the flavors were absolutely delicious. It was a little bit pricey and the donuts are small, but it's totally worth it for this wonderful experience. You can also bring these to the beach as well, but they might start melting in the sun, so feel free to eat them in the hotel and just indulge and maybe eat like 4 or 5 or 6 of them without any judgment, you know. Moving on to something a little bit more salty and savory, I recommend, even vegans, check out MARUGAME udon. Now, this is an udon shop that is extremely popular in Waikiki because, number one, the prices are pretty affordable for Oahu. There sometimes can be a line like stretching really far away from the restaurant during peak times, and not peak times as well, so you really have to plan your visit accordingly. But they have some really good vegan options. They have a vegan udon, which is really delicious. And in case you don't know, udon is like a soup which has thick udon noodles. I found the broth to be really flavorful and not crappy and weak at all. They also have some other things you can add to your plate as well. And the inside of the place is really nice, has a really authentic traditional Japanese feel, which you can definitely experience in Hawaii. To try another Hawaiian specialty, and novelty I guess you can call it, go to Banan, right off of Waikiki Beach, to get some banana soft serve ice cream. Because it is not made with milk and it's made from bananas, it's pretty much all vegan. Be careful of the honey that might be added into some of their creations. But this ice cream is really tasty, really fresh, and really fun and tropical, which is something I really wanted to experience and feel while being in Oahu. One of, arguably, my favorite dinner spots on Waikiki is going to be SIAM Square. Now, this is a Thai restaurant that is located on the 2nd floor of this building. It's in Waikiki, and they have some unbelievably delicious Thai food, including some Thai curries, some Thai noodle dishes, and there's lots of people in there usually for dinner, which makes you know, or lets you know that it's a pretty darn good place. I love Thai food, and it is some of my favorite Thai food I've ever had in my entire life, easily. So if you're interested in Thai food, definitely have to go to this place. And if you're not interested, try it out anyway, because Thai food is amazing. If you want another sweet treat and you have a massive sweet tooth like I do clearly, as I was making this list, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sweet, that's sweet. But we have lots of savory stuff here too, don't worry. But you should go to this place called Ice Monster. Here they serve one thing, and it's Taiwanese shaved ice, which if you've never had it, it's different than like a snow cone or like a slushie. This shaved ice literally feels like snow. If you ever had like a snowflake land on your tongue and melt, that's what this does. And it is extremely fresh and delicious. Just make sure they don't use any like condensed milk. You can check with them which flavors are vegan. We had a mango sensation and it was unbelievable. I love Taiwanese shaved ice, and here they do it right, and it's a great thing to have on a hot tropical island like Oahu. And lastly, a place that I mostly recommend is going to be the Barefoot Beach Cafe. This is located at the end of Waikiki Beach, and it's a great place to go for sunset, and they also have live music there every night, which is a really cool thing if you want to have that sort of like Hawaiian atmosphere. The food, however, it's decent-ish most times. You can get some Hawaiian novelty dishes, such as Loco Moco, which is like rice with a patty and some gravy on top. Sometimes it's pretty good, sometimes it's meh. You can also get like some poke, which I really wouldn't recommend. You can get some like fries with some garlic. It's nice. I think it's a good meal. Usually it's more for the atmosphere and the view of the sunset and the live music all thrown in together, because these are just vegan options. It's not a place I would totally recommend to have a culinary masterpiece, which maybe you want to have in Oahu. I don't know. Either way, there you have it. Let's move on to our next neighborhood. So the next neighborhood is Mo'iliili, which is an area just to the north of Waikiki. You can even walk to these places, but it might take you like 30-ish minutes. But that's totally okay because it just gives you an excuse to eat a lot more food and cram in that delicious goodness into your body. Because these two restaurants I'm going to talk about are both incredible. The first restaurant is going to be Peace Cafe. Here it's a little bit of an unassuming but all vegan restaurant where they have a variety of foods from different like countries and ethnicities. We're talking like Asian, African, a little bit of Europe and North American, but the thing I really recommend you try is the katsu curry, or katsu curry, sorry. I'm getting my Japanese and English a little mixed up. Noa. No. See, I speak a little Japanese. Anyway, this isn't a Japanese video. It's really rich and hearty, and the katsu is going to be like breaded tofu or tempeh. You can choose either. They're both really delicious, and the breading is nice and thick and crispy. Really freaking delicious. Comes with some sides as well, and the portion is really big. You can probably share it with someone else. This isn't something you cannot miss in Oahu. The next place is even more unmissable. Probably, if I had to say so, which is going to be TANE Vegan Izakaya. Now this is like probably one of the highest rated vegan places on the entire island. Non-vegan people have like volunteered to go there with me and take me there because that's how freaking good it is. It's all vegan, as the name implies, and they have so many delicious sushi creations that will just make your mouth water and leave you scratching your head. Not certain which one to pick. The right answer is just to choose them all, everybody. You know, bankroll or go debt on your vacation to Hawaii. It'll be worth it for this amazing, delicious food. In my opinion, the greatest sushi I've ever had in my entire life. And I've been to Japan, everybody, which maybe you could guess because I spoke a little Japanese earlier. Anyway, cannot miss TANE. So now we're moving on to sort of a collection of 3 different neighborhoods, all northwest of Waikiki. I'm gonna mix them together because it's easier to do so, being Kaka'ako, Ala Moana, where the Ala Moana Mall is, and Chinatown. So we're gonna go to this place called Redfish Poke Bar, where they have some pretty good vegan options. It's really fresh. It's like a fast casual sort of setting where you can create your own, which I really recommend. They have really good fresh vegetable and sauces that you can add. Probably my favorite poke I've had in Hawaii. Now this next place doesn't really count as one place, but it kind of does, but you cannot miss it regardless, which is going to be the Kaka'ako Farmers Market. Now this is, of course, as the name implies, in the area of Kaka'ako, and it runs from 8 to 12 on Saturdays. And it's not all vegan, but they have so many vegan vendors serving delicious foods ranging from everywhere in the world. We're talking Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiian, Korean, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, Europe, Asia, and even more. It's a little bit expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but it's the ultimate fun food experience where you can pick a little bit of this, a little bit of that, try it. Most of it was really delicious, and I really recommend it, not just as like an experience for doing the farmer's market, but a culinary combination of trying all these different amazing foods from like local small businesses that exist throughout Oahu. Cannot recommend this enough, everybody. Now another place that says market in the name, but it's not really a farmer's market, is going to be the Umeke Market. This is another like fast casual counter style restaurant similar to Redfish, but they have a collection of different foods, some being really interesting, including like curries, some sort of like local Hawaiian foods, Pan-Asian, sort of like Mexican influence that you can grab for a pretty good price for Oahu. I really enjoyed a lot of the food, but the Korean like mock chicken wasn't the best, to be honest. It was like really plasticky and kind of hard. I felt like I was, sorry if you're watching, but I felt like I was kind of biting into like fingernails a little bit. So I would try a lot of their other food again, but I wouldn't recommend the mock chicken based on my own personal experience, but it has good reviews online. So hey, maybe I just had an off day, but that's another option that you could consider if you're in the area and you want something a little bit cheaper. Moving on to the Chinatown area. This place, I'm gonna tell you, is the definition of a hidden gem in Oahu. It's even so much of a hidden gem, online it's just labeled as Vietnamese vegan restaurant. I'm sure it has another name, but it's like owned by this local Vietnamese family, and they're really kind and welcoming. You get this like nice, really tasty sort of drink. I don't know what it is, if it's like a tea or something, but they have delicious and incredibly affordable vegan Vietnamese food, including a banh mi, which I loved, including some steamed buns, which I loved. We were already eating a lot that day, so that's all I could fit in my stomach, but I would love to go back, given the opportunity, to Vietnamese vegan restaurant in Chinatown on Oahu. And because it's been probably 2 minutes, which is definitely too long to go without mentioning something sweet, I recommend you check out Wing Ice Cream if you want some vegan ice cream in Chinatown. They have a couple flavors that are cool and creamy. To be honest, they aren't like extremely memorable to me, but I remember liking them and they were definitely tasty. And I'd recommend them if you want some ice cream, which you probably do somewhere hot and tropical. Now we're gonna move on to the neighborhood sort of east of Waikiki, which I combined Diamond Head and Kaimuki into one beautiful collection of vegan foods and restaurants. And the first place I'm gonna recommend is going to be another acai place, which is called the COVE Health Bar. Now some of my friends claim this is their favorite acai bowl on the entire island. Maybe I'll make a video covering my favorite acai bowls, ranking them. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that. It wasn't my favorite personally. I still really enjoyed it, but they didn't have a honey alternative or had, what's it called? Agave, didn't have agave. So it wasn't quite as sweet, but it's still really fresh and really tasty. I like the granola, and it's a cool little small place to check out. Now, as someone who clearly is a sucker for Japanese food, I recommend checking out Onoya Ramen right in this area. Here they have 5 different vegan options. It's not entirely vegan, but 5 different vegan ramen options. That's pretty incredible. Now, I really like their vegan fire ramen. I tried their vegan black, which was pretty good. Normally, I'm more of a tonkatsu kind of person, or I like tantan men, which are a little bit more rich and creamy, but I would definitely go back and try those because they have them on the menu as well. So how perfect. You can try them and let me know what you think in the comments below after you eat them. Another great place for a bowl of ramen noodles, if you're into them, in this area is going to be called Nudes Ramen Bar. Now make sure to type in N-O-O-D-S, not N-U-D-E-S for obvious reasons, otherwise you might see some interesting art of ramen and people not wearing clothes, which could be interesting, but that's not why you came to this video, I'm sure. Here they have a separate vegan menu for ramen, which is pretty incredible because there are even more than 5 options, and they even get pretty creative and fun with the flavors. They have like a Thai coconut curry ramen. They offer vegan skemen, and skemen is like ramen, but they serve the toppings and noodles separate, so you can kind of like dip them in and add them as you want, which is something really difficult to find anywhere that's vegan. I really like this place. I would definitely go back again because there's so many options, and as vegan, I'm not used to having those options, and you're probably not as well, which is a really fun experience to be able to pick and choose and go to town on some delicious vegan ramen. And they have vegan appetizers and stuff too, if you want to eat those. Now, one of the most interesting places I've eaten in Kaimuki is going to be this restaurant called Juicy Brew, which is a small and quirky sort of restaurant in Kaimuki, and they have a really interesting menu where they try some, God, I need to learn another word besides interesting, but cool creative dishes. My favorite one I had was the HIRATA buns, which is essentially like bao buns from China. Like you think about the like steamed buns, but it's sort of like a U shape, and they stuff it full of like some orange chicken, and they had like some sort of like cream cheese on there and some like yuzu, sort of maybe yuzu mayo, maybe it's not cream cheese. Either way, this was really delicious, really incredible, and it was just very bold. There were lots of flavors in there that were really strong and noticeable, but it worked really well. So I really enjoyed this. I'd love to go back there and get these again and try some more things. They also have drinks because it's a cafe, and it's a really cool place that you should definitely visit that's unique to Oahu. Now, another unmissable place, man, you're gonna have a lot of places you can't miss. Hopefully you're gonna be there for a month like me. It's going to be Plant-Based Paradise in Kaimuki. This is a yoga studio, so if you want to do some yoga and like, you know, burn off some of those calories, but you're probably going to be hiking and exploring anyway, so don't worry about that. Either way, they have an all-vegan restaurant inside where they serve lots of fresh, delicious, more importantly, Hawaiian cuisine. Here I had Loco Moco, which we talked about earlier, but this is way better than the one I had on Barefoot Beach Cafe. Sorry, maybe it's because they cater towards vegans, so they know what we like, everybody. They have a delicious rice, a delicious vegan patty, lots of gravy, some vegan egg on top, and it is so hearty and tasty and salty and delicious. I see why people eat Loco Moco in Hawaii now. They also have some really fresh like Buddha bowls, they have poke, they have salads, they have like sandwiches and wraps, so really good option as well, and really tasty and really cool, fun, atmospheric restaurant that you have to check out. And lastly, just for fun, I recommend you check out Cow's Tea. You're not gonna get a whole meal here, but if you like milk tea, they have some non-dairy vegan alternatives, which are really tasty and delicious. And in Hawaii, it's very like Asian oriented, so you can try lots of these cool Asian creations at Cacao Tea and other places that I mentioned earlier. So there you have it. Those are 20 or so places where you can get some delicious vegan food, treats, snacks, whatever may have you on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. Now, if you've been following along to the geography, you might have realized this is like all located along the south shore of Oahu. Now, of course, there are many other places where you can eat vegan food across the island, but I was solely located actually on the south shore of Oahu for my month. So when I traveled to these other areas on the east side, north side, west side of the island, I usually just packed food and drove back home and ate later because I was on a bit of a budget. And if you want to know how to budget on Oahu, Hawaii, because it can be very expensive, and I didn't go homeless, I didn't lose all my money, I was able to save a little bit actually. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see me rank my favorite places on Oahu, Hawaii, tell you which ones you cannot miss, I know I said unmissable, but which ones, like if I had to put a gun to my head, say no, you can only go to these 5 or 10 places, let me know as well. Also, I will be going over many other things like top hikes, top beaches, how to travel without a car for 7 days, and ultimately my top things to do in Oahu. So stay tuned for those videos. With that being said, thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.